How are we doing, Niner fans? How are we feeling? The 49ers, wake up, honey. They made a move. They made a move today, the second move of the day. And the 49ers are telling us very clearly what their plan is. They are prioritizing special teams. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, they got a special teams ace, a linebacker. We're going to talk about that. Luke Gifford, 6-year veteran. It's a linebacker. He's pretty much a special teams guy. So it's like they're replacing Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. This is a guy they lost in free agent. Well, they released him a couple weeks ago. He's a free agent. And he gets a 1-year deal. Now, the 49ers had an abysmal special teams last year. So if you really think about it, they needed to upgrade it. Now, I know they need to upgrade their O-line and especially their D-line, but you had to go and fix this special team. So I'm not mad at it. But right now, if you're looking at this team, they're being very slow, methodical, I guess is what you would say. And as we know, this team is very slow at, making these moves and stuff like that. So 49ers, they're taking their sweet time. But you know what? They've lost a lot of players over the last 2 days. So let's talk about this. The 49ers agreed to terms with veteran special teams ace Luke Gifford on a 1-year contract. He's supposed to be pretty good. He had an 83.9 PFF grade on special teams last season and was tied for the most tackles on special teams with 10. So, yeah, he's not a big elite signing. He's not a guy that you're like, oh, my God, look at him. Look at Luke Gifford. But he's a guy that, can improve your special teams unit. And if you ask me, the 49ers special teams unit probably lost them at least 4 games last year. So not horrible. It's a decent signing. It's a 1-year deal, so it's not like they threw tons of cash on the guy. But you also got to remember, they don't have a lot of cash to spend. John Lynch, I posted about it earlier today, how he's talked about it. The combine, the 49ers need to get younger. They need to spend less money. They got to get cheaper talent. And it's not the fun, splashy stuff that we want in free agency. You want them to make big moves. But the 49ers have made big moves over the last several years, and it just didn't pan out. We know Javon Hargrave was a massive bust, and that was a horrible contract. So they got to wipe their hands away from contracts such as that. So that's where the 49ers are at. They signing a special teams guy, Luke Gifford, who can really maybe help them in that aspect because it was very bad last year. Now, 49ers also signed a 49ers restricted free agent, Curtis Robinson. He was the team's 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. He's also recovering from a torn ACL suffered in September. So it's not like the biggest move in the world, but again, another special teams guy. He's linebacker depth. They need depth because they lost Dre Greenlaw, obviously. So they're going to try to get as many linebackers as they can. Now, let's hope that Luke Gifford and Curtis Robinson don't quit on the team like the last linebacker they signed last year, Devondre Campbell. Am I right? So let's just hope for that. The 49ers did lose Leonard Floyd as well today. They released him, saved a little bit of money here on cap space. Obviously, the 49ers need to make sure they can sign Brock Purdy. But at the end of the day, they released Leonard Floyd, and he got signed literally within a couple hours. So this was 4 hours ago. Leonard Floyd was released from the 49ers. And then just 55 minutes ago, I'm looking at my timeline, the Falcons signed former 49ers defensive end Leonard Floyd to a 1-year deal worth $10 million. The Niners did not waste any time, or the Falcons wasted no time in signing former 49ers defensive end Leonard Floyd. Like, here's the thing. Leonard Floyd, he was probably getting a lot of calls. His agent, they were probably like, oh, we want Floyd. As soon as the Niners said they were releasing him, his line was speeding up because he's a good pass rusher. He's had very, minimal injuries over the last several years, and he is productive. He's going to get you at least 8-9 sacks a year, and that's what teams want. So the Falcons went in, and they grabbed him. He's a very good rotational pass rusher. The 49ers didn't want to pay him the money. I think he had, $10 million left on his contract, and he gets that $10 million for the Falcons. Very good veteran. He is a little bit on the older side. So Niners, again, they want to get younger. And unfortunately, they had to part ways with Leonard Floyd, but he didn't last too long on the free agency wire, the free agency market. So good for him. He gets his money, and the 49ers continue to wait around. Now, there is some other news out there that the 49ers are potentially, there's some rumors out there, the 49ers are in discussion, or they have been in discussion with Raheem Mostert about a possible reunion with the team. Now, Raheem Mostert, he was a former 49er running back. He used to be a special teams ace. He went to the Dolphins. Obviously, he's a little older. I mean, this doesn't make sense with the 49ers trying to get younger, what John Lynch said, to get Raheem Mostert. We'll see how that goes. But according to Raheem Mostert, he's had discussions with the 49ers on a possible return. They got Isaac Guerrero, they got Christian McCaffrey. He can be a veteran backup. It's nothing like it's not like a guy that's going to change the world, but it's a guy that's somewhat decent. And this is what Raheem Mostert had said recently. And this is according to 49ers Web Zone. He says, I do got some juice left, obviously, but now it's all about trying to win. I got a taste of what it's like when I was with the Niners in 2019, that is, getting to the Super Bowl and playing in that game and scoring as well. So once you get that, you definitely want to go back and you want to pick a team that's suitable for that occasion. But you want to get the opportunity to go out there and showcase you still got it. So he wants to play. Like the 49ers, maybe he won't even play because they have CMC, Isaac Guerrero. Where is Raheem Mostert down in that pecking order? Now, 49ers do get injured a lot, so maybe he would be able to get to showcase himself. But he does remember the vibes, and, he does remember the team. So it wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I know Kyle Shanahan. I know he could utilize me properly because he helped me get to where I was. But at the same time, this is not the same 49ers team in 2019 that Raheem Mostert played with. So he says it would definitely be a great 1-2 punch. I talked to Christian McCaffrey, one of my guys. We've chatted quite some time over the years. And honestly, the Niners have been in discussion. I could just say that we've heard from them and trying to work some stuff out, obviously. But you never know. You can go one direction and then flip within an hour to another direction. But everything's on the table for me right now. So according to Raheem Mostert, he spoke to the 49ers, and we'll see where it goes. Now, will he sign with the 49ers? Probably not, but definitely something to keep an eye on. I mean, you never know. The 49ers might say, hey, look, man, we love you. Come on to the team. Because they've brought in old players back before. Remember Matt Breida? Maybe they could put Raheem Mostert on there. But Raheem Mostert's not going to be reading to what he's saying. He doesn't want to be a practice squad guy. He doesn't want to be a guy that's just going to sit there and wait for his turn. He wants to go out there and actually play because he feels like he's still got some juice left in his leg. So interesting to hear. But I don't know. Raheem Mostert's definitely not what he was a few years ago. Would I hate it? No, because I liked Raheem. But would it change the 49ers and put him into the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. It's not it's not a needle mover, ladies and gentlemen. It's a decent move, but it's not a needle mover. So we'll see. Now, some bad news for the 49ers. If you've been keeping up with the cap space, 49ers don't have very good cap situation. They actually lead the league. Say that twice, 10 times fast. They lead the league in dead cap space at $77 million. That's a lot of cap space. That's before you factor in Javon Hargrave's $7.4 million. $77 million approximately before the Javon Hargrave $7.4 million cap hit. They're just all these back-ended contracts, these guarantees, these roster bonuses, all this money they have to pay to players, and they're not on the team anymore. Like that's the thing. It's contracts that are off the team. Hargrave, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel, all those guys are not on the team anymore, but they take a hit because you sign them to all that contract and all that guaranteed money and bonuses that you promised them. Well, they don't just disappear. They got to go somewhere, and it's that dead cap hit. And some people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's not. Look at the free agency market this season. The 49ers do not have their fingerprints on it, and I feel like it's directly related to their lack of cap space. Their dead cap is devastating right now. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate for the 49ers. They've had some really bad contracts. Brandon Ayuk's contract was probably one of the worst contracts we've had to see over the last couple of years. And it was one of those things where they were going to trade him last minute. Here comes Kyle. He changes his mind. And it's, very unfortunate how the 49ers have to deal with, a 6-win season. And now they don't have the money to really spend. And now they have a quarterback that they have to pay. And somebody else spoke on that situation today. The nemesis, Micah Parsons. He says, no more rookie quarterback. LOL. Welcome to reality. And a lot of people bashed Micah Parsons. And I didn't like this coming from Micah Parsons because it's Micah Parsons. Go back to your podcast. The Niners owned him. Like, the Niners owned the Cowboys. Like, they've literally dog walked the Cowboys for years the last few years. And Dak Prescott, he's terrible. And don't sit here and tell me that your quarterback's any damn good. And, but the point is, yes, the 49ers have to pay their quarterback this year. And just like the Cowboys, they paid their quarterback and it really messed them up, right? They didn't have a good season last year. They paid Dak Prescott $60 million. That was an overpay, but that was the market at the time. And it really messed them up. And I hate Parsons. I hate that this came from Parsons. But if you really think about it, it's not like he's lying. I mean, look at the 49ers. They've had Brock Purdy playing on a very, very, very cheap rookie deal. Before that, you had Trey Lance. Before that, you had Jimmy Garoppolo. And yes, at one point, Jimmy Garoppolo had the highest contract in quarterback salary. But at the same time, it's not what it was compared to these days. And then they restructured and everything. So 49ers really haven't had to pay a lot of money for a quarterback. They were able to sign all these contracts, which now they're in dead cap purgatory. But, that's the business. And look at the Washington Commanders. They have a rookie quarterback, and they are stacking players behind that team because they have a quarterback that's on a rookie deal. So, no, so it's definitely a situation, but the 49ers definitely made some poor decisions over the years, and it may not directly come and affect Brock Purdy's contract, but I think it's all, at the end of the day, all circles around, and Brock Purdy's contract is going to have a hold on them for the future. Maybe not this year, because they're going to extend them and you're not going to take that big of a hit this year, but down the line, that contract's going to come and it's going to really take a toll on them. So they're getting a little bit more wise, according to John Lynch, on how they're spending. They were one of the highest spending cash flow teams in the league, and they were one of the oldest teams in the league. So Kawa says this doesn't have to do much with the Brock's contract, but more with the bad decisions they made in the past few years. I think the most important factor is 100% those bad decisions they've made in the past few years. But those bad decisions are now going to impact the contract that they're trying to sign with Brock. They may, he may want 50, 55, but at the same time, they may not have 50, 55, or it could become one of those situations where you're cutting all these players so you can make sure you can reach certain contract, markers or points, right? You have a certain, let's say Brock wants 50, and let's say you have to cut Kyle Juszczyk, you have to cut Javon Hargrave in order to make sure you're going to be able to pay those values in the next couple of years. So it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate for the 49ers. Now, let's take a look at some other news that was throughout the day. So speaking of Brock Purdy's contract, Ian Rappaport on Pat McAfee's show, he says, I don't get that a Brock Purdy deal is imminent right now. I'm going to be fascinated to see where that number is going to be for him. So they're saying that the deal is not anywhere to be done. And I think Tim Kawakami had mentioned this yesterday, actually, in his latest article. He says that there's no deal imminent. So it's not like they're sitting there banging out a contract right now. It's going to take some time. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense because it's free agency. They're probably not even in Brock mode right now. They got a lot of things they got to take care of now, but we'll see. When is this contract going to get done? Is it going to be early, before the draft, after the draft? Who knows? Right now, there's no timetable right now. So it's not imminent. Another thing that Ian Rappaport definitely said this morning was the 49ers and Dolphins are definitely in the mix for Joey Bosa. So he says, it's one of those things where it's going to come down to where does he want to go? Does he want to go play with his brother? Does he want to stay in Florida? That's his home, right? His family lives in Florida, and it would be easy for him to stay and play and live in Florida. No no state tax. Definitely a question. And it really depends. Where is his heart? Is his heart at home, or is his heart going to be with his brother? Big question. I know the 49ers haven't made a splash. This would probably be the big splash if they went and got Joey Bosa, but he is older. 49ers have said they want to get younger. So it's funny because they want to get Joey Bosa. They want to pair. This is a dream they've wanted to do for years. But now if you do it, you're contradicting yourself from saying we want to get younger. So no matter what, if the 49ers sign Joey Bosa, fans are going to clamor at him and say, hey, look, John Lynch, you told us you want to get younger. But this is like might be the only guy in the market that they can get. So they got to get somebody. You just cut Leonard Floyd. Who's going to play? Who's going to play defensive line next? Who's going to play on the edge next to Bosa? It's not going to be Robert Beal, is it? It's not going to be Drake Jackson and his bad knee, is it? Who is playing on the edge? Who's going to play on the edge? I don't know. JR said, I saw a few Joey Bosa to the Niner posts. Nothing official. So let's talk about that. There's a lot of rumors floating out there. The big sports aggregator account, JPA Football, he posted 49ers signed Joey Bosa. Now, he didn't because it's not officially, he didn't source it. He says a source, but this is where the source came from. There's a Twitter account. We knew him last year. The same guy that said Ayuk to the Steelers. If you guys remember, Pretty Ricky, the guy with the dog PFP, it's like a dog face. Pretty Ricky is out there, and he's saying that the Niners signed Joey Bosa. Now, he might, and Pretty Ricky's been pretty good in hitting these things. He's been hitting, but he's not a reporter. And the thing, and this is what I said earlier, JPA, because everybody, of course, they come to me, Raj, why didn't you post Joey Bosa? Joey Bosa. JPA posted it. I get that. JPA is not a reporter. He's not a reporter. He's an aggregator. And I have nothing but respect for JPA. I know his name is Jordan. He's a Washington Commanders fan. He runs Washington Football Today, just like I run RSF 49ers. He's an Instagram, content creator. And I know who he is. And he's a good person. Because somebody in the post said, oh, you hate JPA. I don't hate him. I love Jordan. It's my guy. We've collabed on things. We've posted together. We're in the same Polymarket group. We are sponsored by Polymarket. It's one of our, groups that pay us to post content. I get it. But what I was saying is it's not an official update. It's not an official breaking news. Adam Schefter hasn't reported. Ian Rappaport. Nobody. Tom Pelissero. Mike Garofalo. None of these guys have posted the 49ers have signed Joey Bosa because they have not. Maybe they will. Maybe it's the good educated guess from Pretty Ricky. But I have nothing against JPA. He aggregates just like I do. I'm an aggregator. I get it. I go out there, find sourced information, and I post it for the world to keep up with the updates for the 49ers. Now, that's what JPA did. Now, if you look back, I'm pretty sure he deleted said post. So to answer your question, Joey Bosa has not signed with the 49ers. As of now, can that change? Yes. But right now, it's a battle between the Dolphins and the Niners. This is where it seems like right now. So 49 promises. After all that dead cap space, you think Jed York is going to fork out money out of his pocket to rebuild a team and get reimbursed later? It's definitely an option, but I think right now there's so much going on with Levi Stadium. Like they're trying to get another person to invest in the team and take 10% because they want to build a stadium up. They gotta get it up to par. Got to build stadium scoreboards and lights and all that nice, all the nice fancy gadgets because they got a Super Bowl to host. They have a World Cup to host coming up next year. So the 49ers, yeah, they're probably in a big issue. And it's not just them. It's the organization. It's the 49ers. It's, they're trying to host big events next year and all this money, all this spending, it's catching up, not just with the 49ers organization, but the whole, enchilada. You got Levi Stadium. I know it's not the same direct cap space direct with the team, but there's just so much going on. And they got to make sure that they can invest and get the stadium right. And there's so much. And the players, right, the cap space, it has gone up, but all this dead cap has ballooned over. And now the 49ers are like, we can't just keep spending. It's like, so you have a credit card, right? Your credit card, if your credit limit doesn't go up, or, let's say you have like 20,000 in credit card spending limit. And let's say you're like at 18K. You need to start paying some of that damn, debt off. Interest is going to eat you up, all that stuff. Because then eventually you don't really have a lot left to spend. Because if you don't want to spend the rest of that 2K, you don't want to get to your limit on your credit card. you got to start taking some of that money down. The 49ers are like, we're getting to a point where we just have all this excess money and we're not paying anybody. They're not helping. Debo's not going to help us. We're still paying dead cap. Javon Hargrave's not going to help us. We're still paying dead cap. So they got to be more financially smart. And, sometimes it's about taking a gamble. The 49ers took a gamble. They signed Hargrave. We thought it was going to be great. You paid Debo because he earned it that year. But things happen. Injuries happen. Players slow down. And that's exactly what happened with the 49ers. Injuries happen. These guys didn't live up to their contracts. And it sucked, man. It definitely sucked. But they want to be a little bit more calculated, a little bit more wise about spending. You can't just go out there, spend willy-nilly. And the 49ers are going to put an emphasis on the draft. That's what Lynch told us. And a lot of teams do it. And it's homegrown talent. I love it. I love the 49ers saying, let's go build through the draft. And I know a lot of people don't like it because we're losing so many players. I think that's the problem. Fans get so attached to these players. And I get it. I love Kyle Juszczyk. I love Dre Greenlaw. Come on. I love Charvarius. Me and Charvarius were talking in the DMs, bro. Like, I know he's a good dude. But they weren't coming back. And it's just, I think the big hit was that they all left in the same day, pretty much. It was like a Monday massacre in the Bay. That's what I called it. Monday massacre in the Bay. So let's see. Straight cash, homie. What's up, 4900? So Joey is younger than Floyd. Yeah, he is younger. So in a way, Joey Bosa is getting younger. So so if anybody said, I'm going to say that's a good point. So if we do sign Joey Bosa and someone said, I thought we were getting younger, because I know that comment's going to be there, and they're going to say, I thought we were going to get younger. And I'm going to say, Joey Bosa is younger than Leonard Floyd. It's a good one. I love it. So, oh, man. MSQ says, would you rather give Brock Purdy a lower APY and higher guarantee, or higher APY and lower guarantee? Give him more guarantee, lower APY. Just give I'd rather have him have more guarantee money. That's really what matters. The guarantee is what matters, right? If you give him 150 million guaranteed, I'm cool with that. That's fine. It really depends on what the 49ers want to do, what they feel is wise, but I wouldn't mind paying him a higher guaranteed. So he actually would get more money. Let him have his money, See, anything else happened today? It's been a lively 24 hours, 2 days, 48 hours. We talked about, I think I was live earlier this morning, and we got Richie Grant. We tendered Jordan Mason. We talked about that. Hargrave, he's going to the Vikings tomorrow. The 49ers did not land Jonathan Allen. Richie Grant's 1-year contract was $1.5 million with $200,000 guaranteed. We talked about that this morning. We just mentioned Brock Purdy. There's not a deal imminent. Joey Bosa and the Dolphins still debating on where he's going to go. Talked about the 49ers released Leonard Floyd, and then he signed with the Falcons on a 1-year deal worth $10 million. The 49ers, of course, they signed veteran special teams ace and linebacker Luke Gifford to a 1-year contract. And I think we're caught up. The 49ers have they have the highest dead cap space at $77 million in the league. And the 49ers have had discussions with a possible reunion with Raheem Mostert. I think that's it. Oh, sorry. We also forgot the big news of the day. The 49ers signed a 1-year deal with restricted free agent linebacker Curtis Robinson. So that is your news for the day. We are caught up. Let's see a few questions before we bounce out of here. Baby Radiant says, this needed to be done, Raj. Now Niners can focus on getting younger talent. I agree. I pretty much, yesterday I was just a little shooken up a little, because you see all those players and you're like, damn, every single one of those players, we loved them. And in one day they gone. But when you really think about it, the Niners, they had to shed those contracts. They had Kyle Juszczyk, I love him, but what has he done in the last year? He's running around. He's doing cardio out there. Is he still blocking in the run game? I don't know. Is he still blocking in the pass game? I don't know. Most teams don't use a fullback. 49ers were one of very few teams that were doing 21 personnel. They're going to shift. The game has changed. Let Kyle, evolve somehow. Because whatever we were doing last year didn't help. 6 wins. Now I know there's injuries. Kyle Juszczyk, I love the guy. Time to move on. You got to change the offense. Debo, I mean, pretty much everybody hated Debo. He was older. He was injured all the time. He wasn't productive. It was time to move on. I get it. Charvarius Ward, he already told us he wasn't coming back. Shouldn't be a shocker. I love him, but happy for him. He's the 7th highest paid cornerback in the league. Niners weren't going to do that. Dre Greenlaw, I love him. Everybody's pissed off. He got 3 years. Niners weren't going to give him 3 years coming off an Achilles injury. It sucks. That's the business. I absolutely love Dre Greenlaw. I think it's going to be hard to replace him, but he did have injuries, and I hope he can get healthy and, shine and be a top dog. I really do. I hope he could be a top dog in Denver. I do. But you had to move on. It was a tough decision. You had to do it. Talanoa Hufanga, people hate him anyways because they say he can't cover. Good guy, good locker room guy, but he was a shell of himself after the ACL injury. Unfortunate, but you had to move on. Jalen Moore was a backup, and he got starting money. Great for him. Aaron Banks, 2nd-round pick, never lived up to the draft pick. Good player, but was he worth $77 million? Wholly overpaid. Good for him. These guys got paid, man. I'm happy for them. Elijah Mitchell, I think he got paid so much money for being an injured running back, and it's absolutely crazy. Just like Jared McKinnon. Now, I think the Chiefs can make him a good player, and he will be good, and we're going to be pissed. But the guy never saw the field with the 49ers. Good for him. Go chase the $3.5 million you got and stay healthy. That's really it. Leonard Floyd, I like them, 32 years old. Maybe you can get an edge rusher in the draft. There's a lot of them this year. So was it painful? Yeah. Did we really lose anybody? Not really. Maybe Dre Greenlaw. I think that was the big one that we really felt. So that's it. So, yeah, JR says the only true loss is Dre Greenlaw. The rest, he says the rest were known to be not coming back. Yeah, I agree. Red Zone says, I'm always going to love you, Debo. Julia says the Niners are signing special teams because last year they were top 10 in both offense and defense while being last in special teams. Special teams last year, well, I'm gonna say it was dog doo-doo. It was bad, man. It was bad, Jerk McKinney. Yeah, it was bad. What's up, Christine? It was so bad. Don't complain. This is what pisses me off. Niner fans complained all last year about special teams. And now they address special teams and you're complaining. Don't do it. Don't complain on their address. At least they heard us out. At least John Lynch heard us. At least he saw my tweets. At least he saw your tweets. Because you know how many people would tweet during the games? The special teams is terrible. I guarantee you, John Lynch opened up the app, typed up 49er special teams, and was like, oh, Brett Boyer, you're a new special teams coordinator. Go find some special teams players right now. I guarantee you that's what happened. So, all these players are getting great deals too. VZ, these guys got paid so much money. Did you guys see how much they got paid? Oh my God. Listen, it's absolutely insanity how much money they got paid. I think I made a post. Didn't I make a post this morning? Or I was going to. I didn't make the post. They got paid like $278 million combined. It's so crazy. So crazy, man. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. VZ says, I actually feel happy for Ward and his family. I really do too. You know, he said he had PTSD. He couldn't even get on an airplane to come to the Bay, man. Good for him. He needed to escape the Bay, man. It wasn't for him. After all that sadness that he had to endure, he needed to go somewhere else. I'm really happy for Indianapolis. Great for him, man. He's going to be a dog in Indy. Him and Sam Womack can be dogs. That secondary is going to be banging. So, Banks got overpaid, said Baby Radiance. He got paid so much money. 77 million. When I saw Aaron Banks' contract, I did have you seen that Jimmy Ward meme? The Jimmy Ward meme where he's like, I did this. I was like, I took my phone and I was like, Aaron Banks got how much? He got how much? Wish him the best, though. Fucking got paid. Yo, I'm so happy for the 49ers, man. The 49ers players that I'm actually so happy. They got fucking paid, man. They got paid, bro. Good for them. They got fucking paid. Leonard Floyd, he lasted 10 minutes in free agency. Bro got $10 million in a couple hours. He made $10 million in 4 hours. That's great. That's great. Oh, man. I love it. I love that for them. They all got paid. Good for them, man. Good for them. Let's see. Any other questions, concerns? Let's see. MSQ says Larry and Kevin Kruger were saying Campbell from Bama at 11. I'll ask him tonight on the live tonight. We're going to do a live tonight. I mean, I guess a linebacker is great, but this is the thing. I feel like a lot of people are overacting. We don't get Greenlaw, so you want to draft a linebacker now. He's a good player, and I don't doubt Larry because he knows ball. He knows linebackers. He's a scout. I know. I trust him. He would be good. But regardless, the 49ers need a defensive tackle at 11. If they're not going to get an offensive lineman, which probably won't, go get. You know how many good defensive tackles are in this draft? Go get a defense. Have you seen the 49ers defensive line right now? It's paper thin. Paper thin. This envelope is thicker. Pause. This envelope is thicker, pause, than the 49ers defensive line. They need defensive line, guys. That's what they need. The Kansas City 49ers. Did you like that when I tweeted that yesterday? Did you like that? That was good. I thought that was funny. Oh, man, that was good. If the D-lines are stacked, then you can wait till later. You can. You will get some good defensive tackle, but you want a blue chip. You want a star. Like, this is why I'm saying it. You want a quality start. You're not just drafting good players. No, these next couple of years, with all these draft picks that you've added, all these draft capital, you need to draft starters, not fringe players. You need to draft superstar potential players. Look at the Rams last year. Like, they drafted 2 linemen. And those guys they're all pros probably. They're going to be all pros in the league, perennial all pros. That's the 49ers. You can get dogs. Like, I know there's late round talent, and the Niners will hit. But you need to make sure you take pick 11 has to be an absolute day one game-changing starter. I don't care. You need to. You need to make it a starter, a dog. A dog you need. You need to get some good talent because guess what? They haven't done it in free agency. Your D-line right now is paper thin. Javon Hargrave, he gone. Jonathan Allen, he never came. Leonard Floyd, he gone. Who do you have? You got Nick Bosa. I feel bad for him. He's going to have to carry this team if they don't have D-line. You got Nick Bosa, Robert Beal. You got Drake Jackson, whose knee's cooked. You got Khalil Davis. You got Evan Anderson, who's good, but okay. And then you have Yetur Gross-Matos, who missed like 13 games last year. That's your defensive line. Did I miss anybody? Kevin Givens. That's who they brought back yesterday. That's their D-line. See. YGM staying so far. They haven't released them yet. I got the post ready if they release them, though. I got it all ready, bro. Oh, Baby Radiant says, I feel for Warner. He lost his partner in crime, but I feel like the Niners can get a great linebacker to the draft. Yeah, I do feel bad for Fred Warner. I'm just waiting for Fred to tweet or post something because I know it's going to hit hard when he says something. Maybe tomorrow because the 49ers can actually announce these things because the official team, like, they can't actually announce a lot of these moves and stuff until Wednesday in the league new year. So I'm sure by tomorrow, Fred's going to say something and it's going to be like, damn, it's going to hit us hard, man. But we'll see. What's worse, the O-line or the D-line? Julia says, I'll say the O-line, in my opinion, since Salah is back. Salah comes back to this message. Christine, it's a good question. What do you think is worse, the O-line or the D-line? To me, I think the O-line, to me, I think the D-line got worse this year. I'm not saying that the O-line is any good, but the O-line's pretty much the same as it was last year, which is not, like I said, it's not good. But you have Trent Williams, should be healthy, okay? Unless he wants to leave after all this mess, but I'm not throwing that out there. You got Trent Williams. Your left guard's going to be Ben Barch now, unless you somehow upgrade that. You have Jake Brendel. He's terrible. You got Dominic Pooney, who's going to be better this year, who was a gem last year, and then you have Colton McKivitz. That's your O-line. It's almost the same as last year, except you have Ben Barch instead of Aaron Banks. So I don't say it's gotten worse. It's the same. D-line, what did we just say? You lost Hargrave. Malik Collins. We lost him too. I totally forgot about that. Malik Collins. You lost all those guys. Oh, you have Jordan Elliott on the line as well. So sorry, you forgot. You have your D-line got really weak. You got nobody. You got no depth. So they got to address it. I think right now D-line is worse because they lost more talent on that side of the ball. So always one step ahead. Always. I don't know. That's it. Let's take a little break. I'll talk to you guys a little later if there's more news. I appreciate you guys. Keep cooking the numbers up. Keep hitting that like button, all that stuff. Again, appreciate you. If there's any news, I'll be here live. Last time I said, every time I go live and I say, if there's any more news, we'll be right back. There's always news. So I'm going to tell you right now, if there's any news, we'll be right back. Niners, answer me. Make some call. Hold it. Before I go, let me go call John Lynch. Let me call John Lynch. Yo, John. Tuesday. You woke up early today. You made a move. You made a move before I was awake, bro. I got someone texting me that said, Raj, wake up. I was tired. I honestly slept in till 7:15 a.m. I set my alarm till 6, saw the alarm, closed it, and said, I'm waking back up at 7. When I woke up, you guys already made some moves. Jordan Mason at midnight, bro. I was sleeping. You could have waited. And then, you signed the safety this morning at 6 a.m. It's good for you, John. Stay awake. Make some moves. Have a great day, John. Have a great day, Niners. I absolutely love you. Go Niners. Go bang, bang.